Let's not overthink this when we think about the Texans and the Patriots matchup. Houston has a very, very clear weak strength that they need to exploit when the Patriots have this big weakness. We'll talk about that. Plus, I do have a little bit of respect for this Patriots opponent, much more than the Steelers as an opponent for the Texans, and so much more. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans. The caffeine this morning, a little coffee. It is chilly. That coffee will warm you up, but I don't want to overthink this matchup with the New England Patriots for the Houston Texans. I really don't want to make it more than it is. When you think about what the Texans do well and you think about where the Patriots struggle, you look at one very clear matchup, and that's the trenches when the Texans are on defense and when the Patriots are on offense. When the Texans are on defense, they're going to send Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter and all their other pass rushers and incredible defensive line play that they've had at your quarterback. And more often than not, they're going to pressure him and they're going to get to your quarterback. And for the New England Patriots, they have had a tough time protecting their quarterback this season. So it's simple, and I don't want to oversimplify it, but go get the quarterback and make it a living hell for Drake Maye to operate. Because look, Drake Maye is a really good quarterback. He's had a fantastic season. He's fourth in passing yards. He has the best quarterback rating this year amongst any quarterbacks. He's the best QBR amongst any of these quarterbacks. And while all those stats are really nice and fantastic, he's also fourth amongst sacks. His offensive line has had a really tough time protecting him, and probably no better example of a tough time protecting him than last week against the Los Angeles Chargers when he got sacked 5 times. And these sacks came in pretty timely situations, including one fumble sack and including another fumble sack late in the game that thankfully for the Patriots, they recovered late in the game, or the Chargers might have had a little sign of life, might have had a little heartbeat in that game if they'd been able to get to Maye. But 5 sacks last week, and you look throughout the course of the season, basically any time the opposing team had any semblance of a pass rush, they were getting home on the New England Patriots. The Baltimore Ravens in December, 3 sacks. The Bills in December, 3 sacks. The Giants in December, 3 sacks. Cleveland and Atlanta in the middle of the year, 6 sacks. 4 sacks to Buffalo early in the year, 5 to Pittsburgh early in the year. And you don't want to use too much of September and October to decide how good a team is here in January in this playoff run, but you don't want to ignore it. They have had trouble protecting Drake Maye, and the Houston Texans get after the quarterback. And it's not always get there, get home, boom, big sack, but it's just make stuff difficult for the quarterback, make it really hard for the quarterback to operate, ruin things for the opposing offense. Now, Maye's got a lot more ability to improvise than some of the QBs the Texans have played this year, but they've also done a pretty decent job making sure that when they know it's going to happen, they're not going to just get absolutely gutted by a quarterback running. I know Herbert broke off a couple of big ones here or there, but it's not like they were poorly defended. The Texans had everything kind of sewn up, and then Herbert got going. They're going to have to watch for that with Maye. He used his legs really well in that game against the Chargers, including one where he scrambled for, I think it was 30-something yards, and he set up a field goal right before half. But get to the quarterback. I don't want to oversimplify it, but I also don't want to overcomplicate it. Go attack the New England Patriots. And they're feeling the heat up there in New England. They know that the offensive line didn't play well. It's made up of a group of offensive linemen that have rookies, underperforming veterans that they added to the team. And heck, their right tackle didn't even practice yesterday. Imagine having to start a backup tackle against this Houston Texans team as well as they're playing right now. Imagine having to be a rookie left guard going up against, I don't know, Sheldon Rankins, who just bodied a guy and helped sack Aaron Rodgers and forced that fumble, picked it up, took it the other way. Don't oversimplify it, but don't overcomplicate it. Speaking of feeling the heat, how about the top pick for the Patriots, Will Campbell? I like Will Campbell. Nice prospect. He's their left tackle, and folks are giving him a hard time for that performance last week. And, you know, when you're feeling the heat as an offensive lineman, you get a little bristly. And Campbell did just that with the media this week. Here's what the big left tackle for the Pats had to say.
I don't give a shit what anyone says, to be honest with you. It's easy to, type behind a Twitter account that, is fake. As I hold myself to the highest expectation of anybody, I want to be perfect. And it's hard for me to, get told that it's going to be hard to be perfect. But, the Chargers, obviously I didn't pitch a shutout. I had 2 or 3 plays that I wish I could have back. But that's $300 million in defensive ends to be.
Now, like Big Country, and he might have exaggerated exactly how good the Chargers pass rush is. Tuli Tuipulotu is very good. Khalil Mack is still good. It's not quite the Houston Texans pass rush either. So as you think about this matchup, don't oversimplify it. Don't overcomplicate it. The Texans pass rush should be a huge element of this game. Now, the big thing about Maye getting sacked, the big thing about the pressure for Drake Maye is that he doesn't compound mistakes. He does not go and get real skittish and make a bunch of mistakes. And he stays as a pretty efficient quarterback while he is dealing with pressure. And that's one of the things DeMeco Ryans said he noticed about the rookie quarterback when he looked at last year, or the second-year quarterback when he looked at his rookie season versus this season.
I think Drake is doing a really good job of not making bad decisions with the football. He's doing a really good job of utilizing, where his playmakers are open. He's getting those guys the football, and I think Josh is calling it really well for him to give him, easy plays and make good decisions. And where he's taking that next step is his ability to escape the pocket. I think it's really doesn't get talked about much, but his athletic ability, his ability to escape the pocket has been really clutch for them. He's made some big runs to really hurt a lot of defenses, so we have to be conscious of that.
And look, Drake Maye's ability to take off, it's a huge one. He's had multiple games this year where he's had over 40 rushing yards. He had 66 rushing yards last week against the Chargers, and with the big 37-yard run to get them into field goal range to steal 3 points right before halftime. You got to be ready for Maye to run the football, and he's going to run the football, and he's probably going to get some yards and steal some first downs with it. You just can't let that be backbreaking more than a handful of times. It's going to happen. Herbert did it a few weeks ago against the Texans. You've seen quarterbacks do it over the course of the season. You just can't let it be a constant. 1 or 2 here, extend a drive here or there. That's fine. You can easily make up with it with a little bit of pass rush, a little bit of a sack. But I thought it was interesting too. Again, Maye's calm. He's not compounding mistakes. It's kind of something you need to see from C.J. Stroud in this matchup as well. As we talk about, the defense for the opposing team, pretty good. Quarterback's going to have to be not making a bunch of mistakes. That's the thing for the Texans too. The Texans had a pretty rough offensive line performance from a protection standpoint last week. Stroud didn't help the situation very much with some of the stuff that he found himself in and how he reacted to some of that pressure and the compounding of mistakes. Maye doesn't compound mistakes. You're going to have to go out there, sack him. He's not going to try to do too much. He'll just live to fight another day. And that's something I hope Stroud can do in this matchup, because if he doesn't and he's making mistakes, then that's going to open the window and open the door, I guess is a better way to say it, for the New England Patriots. But again, it boils back down to the trenches. And again, don't oversimplify it, but don't overcomplicate it. The Texans are going to rush the passer. The Texans have a better pass rush than the team the Patriots played last week. And last week they gave up 6 sacks. Last week their quarterback was running for his life. Last week their quarterback couldn't get comfortable. And last week they scored 16 points in the midst of all of those things that their quarterback was dealing with. The Texans should be able to exploit that and turn it into a huge advantage for them on game day. So we'll get to your comments, questions, joys, and concerns. We'll tell you how you can go about winning a new prize pack from my friends at One Stop Card Shop. And we'll do all that after I tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to play a daily fantasy. Sleeper is fantastic. You put a couple of statistical predictions together, and as you're putting those predictions together, if you get them all correct, you're going to find yourself with a multiplier of your entry 5 times, 10 times, sometimes even more than that, 20 times. It's just more or less on pass yards or receiving yards or rushing yards or touchdowns or fantasy points in the game. There's lots of different ways to play Sleeper. It's not just pro football. It's college football, basketball, hockey, even baseball's right around the corner. You can do that as well. Sleeper is fantastic. Use my code STOOTS, STOOTS. You'll get a free $20 no deposit required entry, and you're going to get a deposit match up to $100. Use my code STOOTS, STOOTS. Terms and conditions do apply, but check out Sleeper and check out the link in the description down below as well. Appreciate Sleeper for being along. We'll put a Sleeper entry for this game together tomorrow on the show, so be on the lookout for that. Get to some of your comments, your questions, your joys, and your concerns. A couple more things about this Texans and Patriots matchup that I want to get to. And look, I have some respect for the New England Patriots in a couple of different areas, and I'll tell you about those here in just a moment. Mike is here. Good to see you. JB, appreciate you. Zach's here in the morning. He's still trying to figure out this Patriots defense is legit or not. Actually, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute, so don't go anywhere. It depends on what CJ shows up. Yeah, that'll go a long way into showing you how legit or not the Patriots look. Is how does CJ look in this situation? They will be without Christian Gonzalez, which is a huge plus for Houston. Not so fast, my friend. Unfortunately for the Texans, Christian Gonzalez looks like he's trending towards playing. Gonzalez practiced yesterday for the Patriots, which is phase 4 of the 5-phase NFL concussion protocol. So a practice in a non-contact jersey for Christian Gonzalez, it's trending towards one of the better cornerbacks in football and certainly their best defensive player playing this weekend. So that's unfortunate for the Houston Texans. Dime says if we can run the football like we did versus Pittsburgh, we can win. Absolutely. That rushing attack is there in this matchup against the Patriots. The Texans are going to have a much easier time throwing the ball, moving the ball. It will be a very, very good day. Let's see. Dietrich and Rocky. Remember Vandermeer saying, why, Brock, why? I'm hoping we don't start hearing, why, CJ, why? Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. I hope that doesn't pop up. Jay says, sup, y'all. Hopefully they banned the buttered popcorn from the facility. CJ and Andrew shouldn't be worried about anything other than executing snaps. We'll hear from Jake Andrews here in a minute, and we'll talk a little bit about that snap issue. John McClain's Chains is here. 21 Savage, he's missing in action. He had to go to a meeting. That's unfortunate. Patrick's here. JB's here. Tazewell is here. Jake Eubanks is here. Super Bowl bound. Certainly feels that way. Feels really good right now for the Texans. Got to get past Patriots. AFC Championship won't be easy, but certainly a possibility. Otherworld Ambience. Afternoon Stoots. I feel good, but super nervous about Sunday. I feel like that's an appropriate way to look at it, certainly. Sir Wags is here. The Super Chat jumps to the front of the line. Will we see CJ use his legs this week or not? Your guess is as good as mine. It's not trending the right direction for him using his legs. That interception play, he had some what looked to be pretty clear rushing lanes. He didn't take off. He had some moments where maybe he could have used the legs. Now, they rolled him out a couple times. And he used the mobility that way. But as far as taking off, making things happen, he may need to in this game. He can't be afraid. He can't be skittish in the pocket for this one. So got to see the legs. Thank you, Wags, for the Super Chat. Chill Patrick. Cody, what would surprise you more? CJ throws for 300, defense gives up 30, or Woody doesn't leave with an injury. LOL. I would think that the defense giving up 30 would be the most surprising, followed by CJ throwing for 300, followed by Woody doesn't leave with an injury. He leaves, it feels like every game for the blue tent at some point, and then when he comes back, he's stronger than ever. It's one of the more fascinating elements of a football player that we've ever seen. It's very strange. Thank you for the Super Chat, Joe Patrick. It's a good question by you. Hopefully somebody had to just be the game manager convo with CJ. Yeah, probably needs it. Joshua says, morning, Stoots, cold day in the hill country this morning. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. I hope you're staying warm and hope you are having a blessed day. Thank you, Joshua. Chapaho, they need to practice early morning. It's like a practice in the cold. LOL. Nah, they're fine. Don't worry about that cold. It was colder in Pittsburgh than it will be in New England. They're not going to be too worried about it. It seems to me that we may have another Christmas before the game on Sunday. Yeah, it does feel like there's it crawls towards these playoff games. It takes forever for things to show up here in the playoffs. It took forever to get to Monday Night Football, and it feels like it should be Friday. It's only Thursday. It's taking forever. Jacques, I'm assuming Jacques. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. Texans have familiarity with both the Patriots' offensive and defensive scheme. Nick Caley, Kolpovich, D'Amico, and Nick Caserio know the Patriots scheme both offensively and defensively. Sure, and the scheme, understanding it is important. The players are very different. I mean, Maye has a whole different element about his game that Brady didn't when they were running that scheme. And in fact, D'Amico Ryans talked about how Drake Maye has helped evolve the Patriots' offensive scheme to an extent.
I see a lot more flexibility within the offense with what Drake is able to do with his athletic ability. You'll see some zone read plays. You'll see on third down in the red zone. You see him design some plays for him. We saw last week the pass out of the backfield, even though he ran that against me in 2015 with Brady. So I remember that play. So I guess it doesn't matter about the athletic ability of the quarterback, but Josh does. I would say this: Josh, his ability to call plays and set things up. He's one of the better guys I've seen in the league that's doing it. He does a great job of calling plays, setting things up, getting guys in position, really straining your rules and what you do defensively. So we're going to see a lot of things that we haven't seen before, and we have to just trust and rely on our rules to get us through.
The rules and probably an eye game. The eyes don't lie, Chico. So, yeah, while there's some knowledge of the scheme, it is a little bit different, and McDaniels has done a pretty good job of not being stuck in the past. Imagine that. Scotty's here. Good morning to you. Primetime. How's it possible that Gonzalez is playing this week? It's concussion protocol. If you clear it, you clear it. You know, some concussions are different than others. Guys react differently to the various concussions. So, if you clear concussion protocol, you clear it. JJ Stagg. Love what you do, Stootsinator. My only worry is Maye running. We clapping them everywhere else. Feel pretty good about that. Ephraim. Cody, good morning. It's going to be a very tough game against New England. CJ is not playing well, and the Patriots are good at spying. You know about spying the quarterback so that they have a tougher time, or spying espionage like Belichick was accused of and found guilty of back in the day? Because they're probably good at both. If Taylor plays, how do you go about it with the way Chubb played? Primetime, I'm assuming you mean Jordan. If Jawar Jordan plays, how do you go about it with Chubb? I think you just take a couple of Chubb carries and maybe a couple of Woody carries, and you just have Jawar. Ready. What's the concern level of a Henderson having a Genty-like performance? Well, I'm glad you brought this up. A little bit of an alley-oop from Mike. Let's talk about a couple of things about the Patriots that I have respect for in this matchup. Number one is the running backs. I have a lot of respect for this Patriots running back tandem. They are a very good running back duo. They're better than the running back duo the Texans just faced on Monday night. Travion Henderson has come on very strong here in the back part of the season and been very, very good this year. He really had a hard time getting on the field, and he still finished right outside the top 20 in rushing yards. I mean, they did not give him a lot of opportunities. And then right about the Cleveland game, they started giving him a lot more. He started getting double-digit carries every single week, and bam, 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 big performance after big performance. He finished the year with 9 touchdowns, 911 rushing yards, added another 200 or so through the air. Very good football player. Really like what Ramondre Stevenson can do from doing a variety of different things. They trust him in a lot of ways, and I think highly of the running backs, and so does the head coach.
I have a ton of respect for it. Both guys are really they run the ball really well, starting with Henderson, where he sets himself apart is just the breakaway speed, the home run speed, definitely can get out on the edge and really take it to the house. So you have to be conscious of that. You have to do a great job of tackling him, just a really fast, explosive player. And then Stevenson, and this guy is just all around, just stud, runs the ball, physical. He has passing game ability as well, catches the ball well. You see he's just a 3-down guy all around, purposeful guy that they use in a lot of different situations. You can tell that they truly trust him with the football. He's done a really good job for them. So he's another guy's tough tackle. And we got to tackle well versus both of these backs. They do a great job breaking tackles, making guys miss.
It's a similar conversation to last week. If the Texans are tackling well, they'll have a pretty good day against these running backs. If they're not tackling well, then a Genty-like performance is on the table from these running backs combined. They use them in different ways. They'll throw the ball to Stevenson a little bit more. But Travion Henderson's had a couple of really nice runs this year, a couple of game breakers, huge runs of 27, 69, 65, 26, 17, 13, 15, 14. And he's got explosivity to his game. He can make a big play at any given moment. If you are not sure with your tackling, Travion Henderson's going to put 6 on the board, and you're going to be wondering how the heck did that just happen. And Stevenson is a really nice player that they trust a lot. So I have a lot of respect for the Patriots running backs. I have a lot of respect for the quarterback's legs in this matchup. We talked about Drake Maye and the pressure the Texans are going to send his way. 450 rushing yards this year. Just 4 rushing touchdowns, but they'll use them in a couple of those spots. And it's not just the rushing yards. It's when they happen. It's extending drives, and it's extending plays. Think about back to Bo Nix earlier this year when Bo Nix would extend a play and just kind of have nothing there, and he just kind of rip it, and there's nothing really there. Maye can extend a play and actually make a play when he extends the play against this Texans defense. That would be my big concern. Is he gets away from the pressure, he finds something, they play a little off schedule, and he goes and makes a play. But Maye can move around. He can use it to run the football, and then he can use it to extend plays as well. And that's something that you should have some pretty decent respect here for with the Patriots matchup. Number 3 for the Patriots is this is a very solid defense. Okay. When you look at the stats, they allowed just 1.4 points more per game than the Houston Texans. Now they played a much easier schedule than the Houston Texans, but even when they played somewhat decent teams, it's not like those teams are putting up a whole hell of a lot of points. Pittsburgh beat them 21-14. Buffalo put up a lot of points against them, 35-31, but the Patriots have done a good job keeping points off the board. They've done a good job limiting yards. They do pretty good against the pass. They have a decent rush defense. It is a solid defense. It is not a great defense, but it is a solid defense. And DeMeco Ryans with some praise for that defense.
The thing that they do well is that the 2 interior D tackles, right? You can't talk about their defense without talking about how those guys play. Barmore and Milton, they do an outstanding job. Explosive, physical guys, do a great job, run game and passing game. So it starts there with the interior guys, and, they are physical up front. That's one thing I said. They do a great job of setting the edges. You're going to have to earn every yard that you get in the run game. It's not going to be easy. That's why they're good in the run game. Tough, physical guys at the defensive line spot and at the second level. Those guys play very hard, play very physical. So they make you earn it, which is what you have to go do at this time of year.
They make you earn it, and as DeMeco Ryans astutely pointed, you got to go get it. When you're out there on offense, it's not going to be easy for C.J. Stroud and company to move the football. They're going to need to take advantage, and Stroud cannot be making mistakes against this defense because in addition to being a solid defense, they will make you pay. Okay, it's not the most impressive and amazing defense, but if you make mistakes against them, their quarterback can certainly take advantage. They do have a decent amount of takeaways, not an amazing amount, but a decent amount of takeaways. They'll give it away a little bit on offense. That kind of hurts their turnover differential this year, but it's a pretty solid defense that the Texans are dealing with. So respect for the running backs, the quarterback's legs, and a pretty solid defense the Texans are going against, and the defense looks to have their star cornerback back as well. Playoff coverage presented by my friends at TDECU, your credit union. TDECU has that Houston Texans debit card. You can get it, tdcu.org/Texans. Get signed up today. You just have to be a resident in the state of Texas. You can start the process right there online with TDECU. And being a credit union, they can do so much more for you than other places that you put your money. The checking accounts, the savings accounts, your business account as well. There's lots of different options and advantages to being a customer at TDECU. Now, membership's required and they're insured by the NCUA, but they are fantastic. So 15 greater Houston area locations if you want to walk into a physical branch. And then, of course, the process you can get started online, tdcu.org/Texans. We appreciate them for being with us here for playoff coverage. Wags with a super chat. What are your defensive stat projections for us? Well, I would think they're going to get a couple of really nice pass rush moments, going to get home for some sacks. You're just not going to give up 5 sacks to the Chargers last week and not give up any to the Houston Texans. So I would think that there's going to be some pass rush success. Maye will probably throw you one. Okay, he's going to have to get a little risky and aggressive from time to time. So Maye will probably throw you one. So I think that's probably a pretty safe estimate. Get some of your comments, your questions. We'll talk a little bit about the offensive line here from Jake Andrews here in a moment. Paulo, good to see you this morning. Seems like that every O-line plays their ass off against us, at least for the first quarter or so. It does take a minute to get the engine revved up, but when it does, then they do. Does CJ always have his fingers taped up like he did Monday? Wonder if that was affecting his grip in the cold. Perhaps he has had the fingers taped for a few weeks now. That is something to pay attention to. I don't know if it's not anything that's showing up on the injury report, but maybe it's something he's trying. Maybe there's a little bit of tenderness, or it has affected the grip a little bit. CJ don't have no touchdowns in division games. Stroud got to be better in the red zone and score touchdowns. Yeah, look, you're going to have to put 7s on the board to beat the Patriots. You're not going to beat them with just a handful of touchdowns. And if it's a close game throughout, you don't want it to be a close game throughout. So if you're playing that tight level of football like Stroud did a couple of times in this one, it's going to be a close game down to the wire. And, those can certainly go either way. You don't want to have that. So you got to put some points on the board, pass up those 3s for 7s, and get some points on the board. Don't pass up the opportunity to see us at BB's Tex-Orleans tomorrow, this Friday, January 16th. BB's Tex-Orleans, the creators of Tex-Orleans cooking, be there at 3, live at 4 out there in Kingwood, right off of 59. It's going to be a fantastic time. We'll be hanging out and got some great giveaways for you, courtesy of our friends over at TriStar. So you don't want to miss out on that. We have some tickets for you to go to the TriStar show. So BB's Tex-Orleans, don't miss out on that tomorrow. Don't miss out on your chance at One Stop Card Shop to win a bunch of stuff. I'm going to randomly give away some football cards to somebody who comments on this post. You got to comment. You got a couple of score predictions that you can go through. Okay, what's the score? Who's going to score the first touchdown? If you're the closest, you're going to go about winning from my friends at One Stop Card Shop TX up there in Bel Air. They gave away a fantastic CJ Stroud PSA graded card last week, and they're going to give away some more stuff for you this week. It's going to be fun. Check them out on Facebook. The link to this post is in the description down below. Chances to win from them, chances to win from me. It's fantastic. Don't miss out on it. Isaiah's worried about the tight ends for the Patriots. Pretty decent crew. Hooper's had some nice moments, and Hunter Henry's a decent player. Andres, can Kirk double down next week? Well, you're going to need him. No Nico Collins, more than likely, so you're going to need Christian Kirk having a really good game again. It doesn't have to be 144 yards, but if you get something productive out of him, it can go a long way. It's a bad matchup, honestly. Deep passes, explosive halfbacks, good tight ends. People keep sleeping on the Pats. They should not be overlooked. Don't overlook the Patriots. It's a solid team. And as we say that, Tazewell says, I'm feeling more confident about this game than I did with the Steelers. Okay. Well, Tazewell, overlooking the Patriots. JC just had a crazy conversation with another fan last night, said CJ's going to ruin this outstanding defense. And I don't know, it reminded me of the J.J. Watt quote to Watson. Sorry we ruined your good year. CJ apologizing to the rest of the defense. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. Ken's here. I'm live with Cody in the AM. Let's go coffee. Yeah, there you go, Ken. Okay. Would CJ's agent, David Mulligetta, be telling him to put up big game tape for his extension? Worm tongue whispering into his ear. A Lord of the Rings reference from Patrick. Look, I would think that CJ Stroud knows the team success means CJ Stroud's going to get taken care of. Certainly, I think he knows that. Looks like it could snow on Sunday. Well, hold on now. Let's get the Foxborough weather forecast. The Foxborough weather forecast. Yeah, 21-36 for Sunday. Light snow, precipitation at 20. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be like a driving snow. It's going to be cold and a little damp, but it's not going to be too bad. JB Allen's late, but he's here. I got Jacques' name right. Good stuff. Good job by me. Wags again. What is your beverage and food of choice at BB's and Spanky's? Our defense will shine against CJ. Back on track again. 31-17. Higgins gets the first touchdown. How about that from Wags? Here's what I would say about BB's. I changed up every time. I don't think I've gotten the same thing at BB's any time I've gone there. I'm thinking shrimp this weekend, though. First time we were there, I got the boudin nachos. Those were very good. But I'm thinking shrimp this time out there at BB's. And then at Spanky's, I change it up every time. You know what I've been getting at Spanky's, though, is they have a Caesar wrap and a buffalo chicken wrap. That's what I'm getting at Spanky's. Okay, I get the buffalo chicken wrap, and I get it with the homemade fries or the homemade chips. I love that. So BB's this week, Spanky's next week. Appreciate you, Wags. Mustard Paper, what's up? Stoots Texans meet up this Saturday in Austin. Oh, you guys getting a little crew together? Watch some of the games Saturday? Be good. We'll try to get a road show out there in Austin, in the Hill Country for the folks. Good morning, Stoots. Let's freaking go. Texans, let's swarm and get where we've never been before. That's what's staring them down. There's a chance to go where they've never gone before. Turns into a snowy game. Who do you like? Probably Texans. It's not going to be that snowy, though. It's not going to be like snow caked on the ground type stuff. Do you like the time slot for the game, or did you want another prime time? I like it. I like not having to wait around all day for the game and, getting to it. I like it. It worked for me. Obviously, they weren't going to play Saturday after playing Monday, so. Mr. Fingerguns is here. The DTs are concerning than their top guys we faced because there's two of them that are real good. Barrymore and the guy's name escapes me. It's Wilson, isn't it? D'Amico just said it. Williams, Barrymore and Williams, very good. They've had some really good success this year, and then get after it. And look, this offensive line for the Texans, there's a little bit of a concern for it. CJ said that he thought the offensive line's been having some good performances recently.
Pass protection has been amazing. Run blocking, like we just talked about, has been great. So, it's something that I'm getting, well equipped with, and I'm, starting to feel comfortable back there and, make plays. And, I think they're doing a great job and IDing things and, just trying to make sure, we're all on one accord. It's, if we're all wrong, we're right. If we're all right, we're right. So, try to just stay with that mindset. But, yeah, they're doing an amazing job from left all the way to right, and a lot of different experiences in there from, Tay being a rookie and then Trent, being a Super Bowl champ, Titus, being in the league for a long time, Jake, same thing, and Ed, same thing. So, they're doing a great job, and Blake has come in and do a really good job for us as well.
The pass protection was not amazing in the last game. There were some moments where the Heat got to Stroud, and it didn't get to him necessarily in a sack manner, but got to him in a make things a little skittish manner. So the Texans came out of wildcard weekend with the highest pressure allowed in wildcard weekend, nearly 50% pressure rate. They've got to clean that up. They can't allow a lot of pressure to the New England Patriots this week. So, the run game being good and the getting it going on the ground, that's nice. You got to have that again, but the protection for CJ Stroud, it's got to be a little bit better. It's got to be a little bit better than it was. So that's something to pay attention to in this game. The Texans allowed Stroud to, be pressured last week. They've got to clean that up. Or last game, excuse me. They got to clean that up for Sunday. Gustavo, Cody, it seems like the worst offense plays, the better defense plays Maybe we just need 14 by the offense. 14, a couple from Kaimi, and maybe a defensive score, and you go home with a victory. Look, I don't know how much you need from the offense, but you can't count on the defense scoring every week. So you're going to need to put some points up. Do I feel like the Patriots are putting up a tremendous amount of points? No, but could they put up 20, 21? Yeah, absolutely they could. Absolutely they could. So if they're putting up 21, you're going to have to obviously score more, and that's going to have to be more from the offense than what you've been getting. I'm more worried about moving the ball than being able to defend against the Patriots. The Patriots will score, but we need 24 plus to win. I feel like it's tough for me to see them, navigating all the way to 24, 28 points. It really is. Trey of Texas. Good morning from northern Utah. Still up here for a few more weeks before heading home to Bastrop. The Texans make it to the next round, and it's in Denver. I'm 100% going. Yeah, absolutely, you should. That'd be a fantastic one. Absolutely. JB Allen, the Annihilator. The Pats had the easiest strength schedule since like 99. The gamut of QBs the Pats went against was laughable. Sure, but CJ's not exactly blowing the doors off of opposing defenses right now. So, it's something that, he's got to play much better. He's got to be taking care of the football better, and they got to protect him better. Wag says, can we get some call-ins? Definitely would love a debate with you and Landry. Probably not out of the question. Maybe in the near future. Even Fisher got a shout-out. Fisher did get a shout-out from CJ. JB Allen, did you see AQ Shipley? AQ Shipley is a former offensive lineman who does some film breakdown on O-line play across the league. State that Andrews needs to snap the ball better to CJ in shotgun formation. Andrews snapping low and too hard. All those fumbles aren't 100% on Stroud. No, they're certainly not. And I caught up with Jake and asked him about that, the rushing attack and the defensive tackles. And here's what the Texans center had to say.
Jake, CJ mentioned it. And obviously, we saw some of the issues with the snaps in the game. What kind of goes into fixing that, make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I mean, it's just got to kind of be second nature to us. Pass is pass. It's behind us now. I think we've got a handle. So,
is there a moment where you don't have to, you try not to overcorrect something like that? Like it's been good most of the year. It just kind of was a hiccup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's it's something that you never want to happen. And when it does, you just kind of have to correct it. And I think, like I said, I think we've done that. And so hopefully it's better.
What do you guys think about the way that run game's working? You guys were able to push the pile a bunch, and it feels like for the past few weeks it's really kind of started to click here on the ground.
Yeah, we've just been really focused on over-communicating and all being, dialed in the details all week long. Whenever we all know where we're going and all know what we're doing together, due to the over-communication, it usually works out pretty good for us, even if we're all on the wrong page. At least we're on the same page, and that, that's beneficial most of the time. So,
does the enthusiasm kind of build as like, hey, this is run number 3 in a row, this is run number 4 in a row, we're getting positive yards? You kind of get that kind of smirk, like, they can't stop us, here we go again?
Yeah, I mean, something builds. Enthusiasm, yeah, it's, it's fun. As an offensive lineman, you love to run the ball. I'd love to run the ball every play. That's part of being an offensive lineman. That's kind of the mentality that you have to have, I think, up front. And so, yeah, we really enjoy it. However, how we can move the ball, though, that's how we want to do it. Whether it's pass, run, trick play, I don't care. As long as we're gaining yards, I'm good.
D'Amico had a lot of praise for the defensive tackles. What have you kind of seen from how they kind of set the tone for the rest of that defense?
Like you said, they're tone setters. Really good athletes, for one. Really good get off. They play their butts off. Got a lot of respect for those guys. We have to really handle those guys this week.
Jake Andrews, hey, he acted like it was fixed. They fixed it. Don't worry about it. CJ, hey, it's fixed. D'Amico, hey, they're going to fix it. It's fixed. And the run game is going to need to be good in this game. I don't know if it's going to be Pittsburgh good, where they're 5.8 yards per carry and 4.8 yards per carry, but it's going to need to be good. Did Alpha Aaron get to Jake before you did, Stoots? He did not. I was the first one to talk to Jake yesterday. We need a new center. I'm not confident in that answer. Well, no new centers coming up this week. So you're going to get Jake Andrews, and you're going to like it. With that beard, Andrews looks like a bit of a younger Kelsey brother. It's like an offshoot, a Kelsey cousin, if you will. Wags, who's the secret weapon this weekend? I mean, really, couldn't Xavier Hutchinson be that? I mean, if Nico's not going to play, he's going to get Nico's opportunities, or a lot of Nico's opportunities. Couldn't Xavier Hutchinson have a much better game than you expect and be a big piece, a big key to this weekend? That's kind of how I feel, is potentially Xavier Hutchinson being one of those guys like, oh, I didn't expect him to have a big day, and then he has a big day. Great value, Kelsey. Yeah, the crowd noise wasn't good. Ed Ingram signaled Jake Andrews. Andrews snapped it early. CJ had a fumble. That wasn't good. So I got that from Wags already. All right, here we go. Okay, once again, playoff coverage presented by TDECU. Get that Houston Texans debit card. They got checking accounts, all sorts of different kinds of checking accounts. They got savings accounts. They got business accounts. I may have had a need here recently for the business account from my friends at TDECU, so maybe seeing them at one of the 15 greater Houston area locations. So don't miss out on visiting with my friends at TDECU. One-stop card shop giving away stuff, so check them out at the link in the description down below. Obviously, visit with my friends at Sleeper. We'll have the SNL show with you this afternoon at 4 and tomorrow afternoon at 4 live at BB's Tex-Orleans. It's going to be a fantastic one. Do not miss out on that one. As J-Rock notes, waiting 3 days for this game. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to get to watch a couple of football games, and then you're third out of the 4. So, usually the best hitter gets third. Maybe it'll be the best game. TDCU has Texans and UH cards, but they have a UT and A&M graphic. I don't believe they do. But you can get your Texans debit card. You can get you just a red TDCU card. And I got a hunch if you're asking, do they have UT or A&M? You probably don't want a UH card. But they have a UH card as well. So, but check out my friends TDCU. TDCU.org/Texans. Find out all about the Houston Texans debit card from my friends at TDECU. The checkmark game tomorrow. Tarot cards or playing cards as trading cards as tarot cards tomorrow as well. The Friday show is always a fun one, so don't miss out on that. We'll be ripping some packs tomorrow. See what comes up with it, and get you ready for the Texans and the Patriots again. So it's gonna be a fun one. We end the live streams the same way each and every time. This is my hope for you. This is my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hip-hoppity, dip-doppity-doo.